Hey guys, welcome back to LifeLink Pod. I'm your host, Lacey, and this season we're talking all things LifeLink culture. So who we are, what we do, and why we do it. Whether you're here to be inspired, to learn more, or just come along on the journey, we're so excited you're with us. So now, on to the pod. All right, well, welcome back to the podcast.
It's so good to be here.
It's so good to have you back with us.
I love it.
It's so funny the difference between recording with you and with Dad.
You think it would be different?
It's so different. I have a question.
Yeah.
How many unread emails do you have right now?
Well, I have a praise report.
What?
I deleted a lot.
Okay. Did you have to go through and read them all, or did
No
you?
way, man. What was it? I had some type of thing that came up and said we can't send anything else to you because it's
too
not
full.
Yeah. And so I handed it to Dad, and he's like, "It's time." And I was like, "Okay." And so I had already, you get those coupons or whatever.
Do you have a separate email for those, or is it all in one?
Lay, I need help. I need therapy. Everything's all in one thing. I have 2 email addresses, and they're both packed. And so, but I'm too embarrassed to even say it on this microphone because it was bad. It was bad. So anyway, Dad took it and he just went
Command all, delete.
all. I mean, I can't even tell you how many thousands. And so
Crazy.
anyway, I was like, wow. And
What about texts? How many unread texts do you have right now?
I'm better. I'm better on my texts. But what I don't do is delete.
I don't either.
So I don't know if that's good or bad.
I don't really because I think my phone automatically will delete some stuff. I have it set up for that.
Oh. What button is that?
I think it's in your what button is that? It's in your settings. What I should go do is go through my contacts and delete people from high school that I haven't seen in forever. Because I've had the same phone number for
that. What we're talking about now is stressing me out, man. I would have to I'm going to hand it to somebody and say,
do it for me.
Do it. Who does that? People?
There are people listening that are like, I have only 3 texts in my phone right now. Yeah, there are people that's their bread and butter. I'm wondering how many screenshots, accidental screenshots, you have saved to your photos too, that you didn't even know you took a screenshot.
What makes you ask me these questions?
I don't know. Well, I was looking at my text just before this, and for some reason, my computer doesn't always stay in sync with my phone. So I've checked all my messages on my phone, but my computer says that I have 24 unread messages right now, which is stressing me out a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't. I've read them all.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
That's not what we're talking about.
If it tells me how many messages I have, I say, that's great. I'll get to you when it's time.
That's great.
I can't.
Yeah.
There's no way. I'm not.
My favorite thing that iPhones have done recently is the ability to read a message and then unread it.
Oh, yeah, where you swipe it over.
Gosh.
Yeah, because the blue dot, I keep saying I have to just keep.
Yes.
I sometimes can read and think, oh, this is going to take a little time.
Yes.
I just swipe over and the blue dot reappears. It brings
and then remember,
comfort.
it reminds me I need to go back. Did you know you can schedule replies too?
No.
Yeah, you can type out a reply, and sometimes we'll get texts or I'll finally be able to read my text late at night or 4 a.m. when I get up, and it's way too early to reply. So you can type out a reply and schedule it to send.
That's true. I do know that now.
Yeah.
I do know that.
These are great tools that they've come up with.
I know. It's still a lot.
It is a lot. Sometimes
Technology.
having that much access is stressful. I think back to the days when we had a home phone.
That was the easiest thing to do.
It was so great.
They were so cute.
Yeah, so my girls started watching Lizzie McGuire.
Oh my gosh.
That was my show.
Yeah.
And she has hers is purple, the purple see-through phone in her room.
Yes.
And I had the blue one.
Yes.
And I would tell the girls, and they keep asking me questions of back then, did you have, or they'd be in AOL Instant Messenger,
Yes.
in chat rooms and stuff. Anyways.
Y'all,
I know, but home phone era was great. You just leave a message.
I was in the day where the home phones could hang on the wall
and had big
cords,
long,
and you would take it and walk around with the cord in the kitchen.
And then people are ducking underneath it.
Yes, and I would put my finger and wrap it around. So cool.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
I think back to like nostalgic, like chick flick rom-coms when they're talking on the phone and they're like twisting, you know?
Yes.
You don't do that anymore.
No.
No, but I miss the home phone and like the office phone that stayed at the office.
Yeah. I have, I found one, I thrifted one.
Yeah.
A red phone that has the dial.
The rotary, that's cute.
The rotary, and it's so cute. And I have it in Tori's little playroom, and I will go and just pick it up and spin it. Yeah.
There's a weight to it too that's satisfying. Yeah. And the click
with the little.
I think back. Okay, so we did a cruise as a family, and in your staterooms, you have those like. They look like the old, like hotel phones.
Hotel phones.
Yeah. And you can call to guest services or whatever, and you can call between rooms.
Yeah.
And so when we went, Emma was, I think, 7 at the time.
I remember
And she liked calling between our rooms. And she accidentally called the wrong room. And this lady was not happy about it. And so we're like, Emma, hang up. And she's holding the phone.
The receiver.
And she's like, I don't know how to hang up. Because she's looking at it, looking for the end button. And we're like, hang up. Like, hang it. That's where it came from. Hang up. It's so funny.
Oh, times have changed.
And they just keep changing. That's so crazy.
It's wonderful.
Well, today we're continuing in our culture guide, culture pieces of our church. And we're talking about the topic of be a bringer.
Be a bringer.
Be a bringer. So let's talk about it a little bit, what that means, because we've already talked about the Great Commission. We've talked about what is that core value that we have of the Great Commission? It's the Great Commission.
Now we're staring at each other right now because I'm like, what are you talking about?
We've already talked about
the Great Commission.
The Great Commission. Oh, man. But this is...
Say what that verse is.
All
Say
right.
what that verse is, because when we say the Great Commission, people are going, what?
That's great. So it's in Matthew 28:19 that says, and this is Jesus, he said, therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I've commanded you. So this...
And lo,
and surely I'm with you even to the end of the age. So this is different than the Great Commission. Correct? When we're like, hey, be a bringer. We're talking about inviting people to church, yes, but is there more to it than just inviting people to church?
Well, I think the reason why we have this in here is and again, we're talking about our culture. Our culture is all about not just having you in your own little box, come and be in church, and yay, it's just for you, and then you get to go home and have a great week, which is fine. But we're encouraging people, hey, there's somebody out there that that we don't know, that needs a community. First of all, they need Jesus. They need to know that we're here, and they're only going to know if you invite them. Or if you tell them about it, that type of thing. They're only going to know, Jesus maybe through your life, through watching you as a neighbor or as a coworker or whatever it may be. And so I teach the growth track a lot, and there's a part.
What is the growth track?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. The growth track is a 4-part series that we've actually made into one day.
Yeah.
It's one day.
One and done.
That we teach 4 parts about who we are. Actually, it's 5 parts. We're LifeLink Church, linking people, God together for life. We do it through the high 5. Link, live, learn, lead, and love. And we go through those things. I know.
It's a lot of insider language.
But not of insider language, but you need to come and be a part of it, so
It's our culture, yeah.
it's what
Yeah.
our culture is. So each one of those things, it's really for people who want to know more about LifeLink and how that they can
Be a part.
and do more than what they can do by themselves. So in that, I am able to share how that one of the things that we do as a church is the last L in the high five, which is love, which is we show God's love to people in our church, outside of our church, in our neighborhoods, and around the world. So it's missions. And so that's really just being, Jesus with skin on. People have said that for so many years. But being,
Which is funny because Jesus had skin on.
I know, but we used to say this as be the glove, if you remember that.
Which we've talked about as one of our...
As our cultures.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of tied into that, in that we want to represent Jesus to where people are curious, a little curious. What's going on? Who are you? And so how we connect with them is through relationship. We connect with people because people are like, okay, be a bringer. If I want to invite people to church, oh, that's so intimidating. Well, we try to give you tools.
Yeah.
And so we have here at the church the cutest little invite cards with the QR code that anywhere that you have a conversation that's started, that you run into people or whatever, and they're like, oh, yeah, what church do you go to? Oh, here is our church. They can find out themselves.
Yeah.
That's an easy way to just invite people, right? But for the most part, we encourage people, let's have relationship.
Yeah.
Before you invite people, first of all, you want to have the heart of this is what I do. And so which is kind of tied to in that Great Commission is, it's my responsibility. I'm a part of a church. I'm a part of a community. I'm a part of being a Christian. When you love something, you want to share it.
Right. It's not hard. It naturally comes up in conversation.
Right. When you love your church, it's like, oh, I got to tell you about our church. Or if there's a great life group that you're a part of.
Right.
Oh, my goodness. You would love coming to the pickleball.
Yes.
Life group.
It's
it is
so
so much
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
We just heard some wins about that today.
Yeah.
And oh, my goodness. And at the pickleball, you meet people. Oh, my goodness. You would love. Where are y'all from? Why do y'all know each other? Are y'all neighbors? No, we go to the same church. Oh, you would love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's that kind of thing. We want to be bringers. Whenever we go somewhere, whether it's a women's event or a brotherhood event, whatever it is, bring somebody.
Right. So it's not just, I even think about like, not just simply inviting people to church, but it's having that idea of, we say it all the time, like, don't live life alone. We're better together. But it makes the experiences more fun when you've got somebody with you.
Yeah.
So it could even be like an event we do internally at the church.
Right.
It's like it brings somebody, maybe it's not even from the outside. Maybe it's somebody in our church that you never see places where you're like, hey, you should come with me to XYZ.
Which brings me back to what I was starting to say is number one, is just accept the responsibility of, hey, I'm a part of this. I'm not going to wait for someone to invite me. I am going to be the one that invites.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the one that finds somebody. And then it's like, I'm not just going to invite the people that I feel comfortable with, which is okay.
Yeah.
But just talking, hey, find somebody that doesn't have that friend, that doesn't have the insider scoop or whatever. And maybe that is you. And it's just, so it's like, I'm going to find somebody. So find someone, find common ground with, develop a relationship with, say, hey, Tribe is having an event.
Right.
How about I meet you there? Let's sit together at the Tribe event.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. There you go, right?
Yeah.
And that's the invitation. And, we always give tools here at LifeLink Church. We give either little flyers, little invites, or we get them on your phone to where you can text it and
Share it on your stories.
Share it
Yeah.
on your stories and that type of thing. So
Yeah.
it's all about being a bringer. And I'll say there's, I know that we had kind of looked over the actual story in the Bible, which is found in, I forget, but it's about
What story are you talking
the
about?
story about the guy that was the guy that was paralyzed. He had some
Mark 2.
friends. Mark 2. It's one
Yeah.
of my favorite ones, and these guys were like, "Hey, Jesus is down the street, and he's meeting, and things are happening. You need to be healed."
Yeah.
And so, see that expectation there. If we take you there, we know God's going to do something.
Right.
Jesus is going to touch you.
Yeah.
And you could walk again. Oh my gosh, are you ready
Yeah.
to go? And he's laying there like, okay, let's go, man. He's laying there. And so these guys take him to where Jesus is.
Yeah.
That's expectation. So they brought him there,
Yes.
right? Found somebody that had a need.
Yeah.
Thought, I know who can help you. I'm going to bring you there. And so, of course, when they get there, place is jam-packed.
Of course.
The line
There's
is out
no
the door.
parking.
No parking. They didn't give up.
Right.
This is what I like about these guys. I really do. Is they're going to find a way. Mm-hmm. So they actually say, we're going to climb the roof and we're going to put him through the roof. Now, can you imagine being the guy in there? They had to strap him down because if you're going to haul him up, he's
Or maybe they created a pulley system or
creative
something.
pulley
Yeah.
system, put him up there, and actually, cut
Tore the roof
tore the
open.
roof, and lowered him down right in front of Jesus. What kind of friends would do that? People who wanted
Yeah.
to see their friend walk and cared,
Yeah.
and then had the faith of knowing if we just do this, we know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so they were bringers.
Mm-hmm.
They were bringers. And that is what we encourage people. Hey, let's have that same. Again,
Yeah.
we talk about expectation. We talk about, there is something that's going to happen at church or at that tribe meeting or at that tribe retreat or man camp
yeah.
or the life group or
Yeah.
the kids camp. Our students have got to get to student movement
yeah.
on Wednesday nights because I know if we get them there, so I'm going to be the mom
Yeah.
that has the van that says,
Absolutely.
I'll meet you at Circle K. Everybody
Pile in,
bring your
yeah.
kids. Let's pile in and I will bring them.
I love that.
I love that too.
Yeah.
And that's the attitude that we have. And then because of their faith, because of all that happened, Jesus looked at the guy and said, hey, pick up your mat because you're healed.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, the expectation, what would happen if you did that? Or if you're a student and you're at school and you're like, you have to come to student movement. This is what's happening. You're going to love it. And they get here and that friend of yours gets saved.
Yeah.
Think about what's going to happen with you.
Yeah.
The rewards you get in heaven
Right.
because of that.
Well, and I think one of the best ways to be a bringer is it's the personal experience
Yeah.
of I love this and I think you would like it too. You should come with me. It's not just, you should go to church. You need Jesus.
Right.
It's this actually, I notice a difference when I don't go to church on Sunday, or I really feel it when I miss my life group.
Yeah.
And I think you would enjoy it. Or even, what I love about our small groups is a lot of them are interest based.
Yeah.
So it's
Free market.
yeah, we have one right now that's a book club. You like reading? Great. There's this book club. You should come.
Yeah.
But it's bringing people along, and it makes a difference for people, but then it makes a difference for you too. I think about, okay, so I've been a part of this gym where I work out, and I've been a part for almost a year now. And when I first went to the gym, it was all new. This is not something that's normal for me. And so I showed up and I was intentional and I would be there. But I would work out And it's so funny. I see it happen now where our gym's like this long rectangle, and the new people just come in and sit right at the very beginning. By the door. And the more experienced people work out toward the back of the room. And you're in rotation the whole time. So you don't stay in this spot. But the new people, without fail, just come in and sit right there. And that's what I did. And it was about 6 months of doing that, or maybe a few months of doing that. And then there's this one girl who works out in my gym, and I notice her. She's a beast. She's like lifting twice the amount.
Savage.
Yeah, she's lifting twice the amount in dumbbells that I'm lifting. And when I'm like not pushing myself, she's still doing the burpees, and I consistently
hate burpees, man.
Hate them.
I really do.
We had to do so many today in different variations. Today was cardio day. We did box jump burpees and we did slam ball burpees. Anyways, I'm like barely sitting on this stool right now because I'm now sore. Anyways, but she stood out to me and was like inspiring me from afar. I'd never talked to her or anything. And then one workout, it was another cardio day, and she came up to me and she was like, "Hey, I think you should work out with us in the back."
Hey, you.
Yeah, she was like, "I think you have more in you and you should come work out with us." And instantly I felt like I just got invited to sit with the cool kids at lunch. And it was like, oh my gosh, what I'm doing is being recognized, which for me, like I love that. But then it was like, somebody wants me to work out with them. So then since then I've been working out with them, and it's made a huge difference. I've been able to up my weight. I have accountability. People notice when I'm not there, and it's more fun working out with people I know.
Yeah.
And then of course on my end, I'm like being intentional of like, I want to see these girls. So now I work out with a group there's 4 of us. And now I'm like, I want to see these girls come to church. I think that would be so cool. I've invited one.
Okay.
So but it changed it for me.
Yeah.
Somebody and I was already there, but somebody inviting me a little bit
closer.
Yeah. Let's take it one step further. Yeah. And I've been here for a while, and I can help challenge you. And so I think about that even within our church.
Yeah.
You know, yes, we could invite people from the outside in, and that's what we want to do. But are there people that we see that are like, hey, I haven't ever seen you at a tribe event. You should come with me.
I don't do women things.
Right. But what would it mean for that person? That's like, wait, you saw me? You recognized me?
Exactly.
It causes this lean in, and then there's like I don't know, it levels up a little bit.
Yeah.
You should sit with me, at first service.
Yeah. Yeah.
It made all the difference for me within a gym setting. I just imagine within like a faith setting
for sure
what that would do.
Well, definitely. It shows that people were seen. They're not just another face. They're not just another number. Right. But what would you, let's talk about these rejections, because, some women, like I just said, would say, oh, I don't do women things or whatever. Right. Or, no, that's okay.
That's not my thing.
That's not my thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And so some of those things, I think that some of the, how to overcome those objections is to actually say, oh, okay, I get it. If you're not with women things, if you're not, up with women things, then hey, maybe you and I could just go have coffee sometime.
Yeah.
Or maybe, because I'd love to find out what you are interested in. Because everybody wants to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah.
And if there's someone that just says, oh, wow. And that's what I love about our church, because the culture is really happening. I just was talking to a couple that are fairly new at our church, and I was like, how do you find us, la, la, la. And they said, we have been to so many churches, and it was here where we felt seen. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? Well, people actually stopped and connected with us when they didn't know us. They actually wanted to know about us.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that happened, because that's our culture, is no matter how large we get as a church, there's still that one-on-one. Someone is looking for for you. Someone, if they don't know you because you're not in their life group, you may be going here 3 years and somebody's going to come up and say, hey, I don't think I know you. Oh
Right.
man, I've been here for 3 years. But because there's so many life groups happening
Yeah.
where people are being seen and connected with this, it's amazing. And so
Yeah.
that's why we want to bring people.
Yeah.
But what are the obstacles that causes people not to bring people?
I don't know. I think,
I know one.
okay, go for it.
Keep thinking.
Okay.
Is the responsibility.
Ooh, talk about it.
Is it's like if I invite somebody, that means I have to sit with them. I have to talk with them. And I'm not really, maybe I'm not a talkative person, or that's too much responsibility. Or when I'm at church, I have to serve, and then where are they going to be?
Right.
And that's a real thing.
Yeah.
I understand. And this is where I would say to those people who feel that I feel responsible, I feel like I'm stuck,
Yeah.
with someone. And that's where you're not alone. So if you are bringing someone, find someone within your life group to say, hey, I'm bringing a friend from work. Would you sit with us?
Yeah.
While I'm serving in the whatever, would you sit with them? Or could you just be a part of the conversation? Because I've already ran out of all of my words.
Right. Yeah.
So that's it's a fear-based sometimes. Is like, oh my gosh, I won't know what to say.
Yeah.
Or what if they don't like it?
Right.
And
we're not for everybody. I think that's where my initial hurdle I think people would have is and it's not like, not embarrassment of church,
Right.
but maybe for some of us, there's a hint, what?
I can already hear. I hope Sister so-and-so doesn't jump around or run
Right.
across the aisle
Hope
today.
So-and-so doesn't yell out in service today or anything like that.
Which doesn't happen a
No,
lot.
but even I could see for some people that it would be hard to invite people to church specifically because maybe church is just a Sunday thing for some people. And it's not, to your point earlier, like we talk about what we're passionate about and what's working for us. And maybe Sunday is just, this is just
Another day.
it's just what I do on the weekends for that 90 minutes. And then I go about the rest of my day. And so it hasn't worked, like our relationship with God maybe hasn't worked its way into every part of our life. So it's hard to bring it up.
Right.
Because it's such a departure from the rest of our life.
True.
So that could be a hurdle. Or it could feel like, what if they say no? Well, then they say no, and that's okay.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, if I invited somebody to come with me on a hike and they're like, no, hiking's not my thing, I wouldn't feel any kind of way about that because I get hiking's not for everybody.
Right.
But for some reason, when it's church, it's like, I feel rejected.
Right. We take it personal.
Right. But like if we put it in the same part of the rest of our lives, I don't know. The other thing is back to that first point of maybe it hasn't affected every part of our lives. I think of like weight loss and fitness, which I know I keep coming back to that, but I feel like our walk with Jesus and fitness, they're so parallel.
Yeah.
But I think about when you start making changes in your diet, first of all, it's noticeable because you're not eating the same way that you were before.
Correct.
And so you have to make adjustments when people are like, hey, let's go for lunch. Cool. I can only eat at these 5 places because they fit my macros. So then it opens up the conversation of, well, what are you doing? But then also, after you've been doing that for a while, people start to notice, hey, you're losing weight, or you're not as winded coming up the stairs to the office today, or whatever. What are you doing? And it naturally just opens up to, well, I've been doing keto, or I've been doing counting my macros, or intermittent fasting, or whatever you're doing. And then it just opens the conversation. People want to be healthy. A lot of times they just don't want to make the changes that it takes to get there. And to the same point, people are looking for God. They just might not know that they're looking for him.
Right.
But they're searching in all of these places trying to find fulfillment.
Right.
And so if our relationship with God really does infiltrate our entire lives,
Right.
people start to notice a difference
They do.
of, hey, why are you like weirdly peaceful when things are so stressful at work? Why are you so kind to that awful coworker? How come you never badmouth our boss? And then it's as simple as, well, I actually have this like thing that I do on the weekends. I go to church, and my pastor was just talking about the importance of watching what we say. And so I'm just trying to put it into practice, and I'm noticing it's making a difference in like my mental space when I'm at work, and makes it easier for me to like see our boss and kind of respect him. So that's just what I'm trying. And it like opens that
opportunity.
But it has to be from this genuine, authentic place of this thing, church, relationship with God, has actually changed my life.
Yeah.
And so then it comes out in my life. It's so much easier and natural that way, instead of, I'm supposed to bring you to church, so here, oh my God, and I run away.
Right. Right.
So.
And then they look back and go, you go to church?
Right.
I never would have thought. No, I'm kidding.
But to some people, that's great too, because it's a lot of people feel like I have to be perfect before I can go to church. Yeah. But if they see normal people,
true.
Yes. They know you've lived some life, and yet you go to church.
Yeah. Say we're all in process. It gives you opportunity. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying. I'm trying to, turn my life around. I'm trying to, have peace in our house and that type of thing. So yes, perfect opportunity. I like that, because again, we don't want to have just the duty to check it off.
Right.
But at the same time, a lot of people, Christians, have that mentality of, okay, I'm saved, my family's saved, so I'm going to go home and drive in the driveway, shut the garage, and I don't want the responsibility. Yeah. I don't want, which we've talked about in the whole Great Commission thing. But it's like being a bringer is like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That means I have to
talk to people.
Yeah. I have to get outside of my comfort zone. And a lot of people, honestly, that's hard for them to do. And again, I know we talked about in another episode on ways to connect with people and how to talk to people. I mean, you even had somebody in the life group
reference that podcast.
Yeah, saying, how do you talk to people?
Yeah.
And so, if that's a growth area, research that out. We want people to, especially if leaders, is be a bringer to the places where your space is, where you are, and let people be a part of your life.
I wonder if that, for some people, is a little bit intimidating, only because there's pressure and stress when worlds cross.
That's true.
Like, I think about when we just moved into our new neighborhood and meeting the neighbors. We were really intentional. We wanted to meet our neighbors, but then in me, there was this fear of, what if my neighbors are crazy? And then I've just invited them into my space, and there's no getting away because they live across the street. You know what I mean? Like, what if I invite my coworker to church, and then they end up loving it and they end up coming, but there's drama at the office, and now my office is in my world.
Like, I need my church to be my space,
safe space
that I worship, and
because there are some personalities that, like, I have my work friends and I have my church friends, and they never
cross.
They never cross.
And I would say we have a counseling service that.
But also, maybe they go to 9 a.m. and you go to 11 a.m.
Yeah, they can do that. But I am just kidding. But yet I am speaking to those that could use maybe some coaching in those areas of just saying, okay, maybe right now that's where it is. You go to, this campus, they go to the other. But at the same time, let's grow.
Yeah. But even like, and we've had it before where somebody applied for a job. Like, there's one of our church members, right? And then another church member needs a job. and applied for a job at their company and didn't get the job, and that person was involved in that decision, that can be awkward.
Yeah. Awkward moments.
You know, so that kind of stuff happens. Or let's say you're dating and you invite your boyfriend to come to church, and then you break up, but you both love the church.
You were fire hydring these
sorry.
scenarios like, oh my gosh. But let's just say that, you know, of course, God walks with us in all of these things. And I'm a big believer in courageous conversations. Of if those the things, there may be for a season, yes, I'm going to go to this other campus.
Yes.
Or I'm going to whatever. But then in the end, it's like how you grow and mature in those things spiritually is staying connected to God, staying connected with people in your life that help you grow through these things. And it does take time. It's not going to happen overnight. But those are good scenarios, but it's like one after the other.
I know,
Okay,
but it's also like one of those things where it's like maybe we're thinking too many steps ahead. Like if we're at a point where you're like, okay, I'm going to invite this coworker to church, but what if and what if and what if? It's like you're 1,000 steps ahead. Let's just take the next right step and trust that when we get to the bridge and have to cross it, that Jesus is going to be there with us.
Yeah, well, he is. Yeah. He is. Yes, that is true. Some people think very deeply.
That's me. I think that way.
No, and I'm just like, just come on, it'll all work out. It's going to happen.
We'll figure it out. And I'm like, you can't even say that. You don't know.
So, I love that. But what I was going to say too is what if this is a scenario is you don't want to bring people because you, again, not that you're not excited about your church, but you wish it was different.
Okay.
Then, I mean, our music is going to be loud.
It is cold in our building.
It's a little cold. You don't know if they're going to understand if we have a lull in the service and in worship and all of these things, and you're just like, you know, so it's just so easy to say, you know what, we'll just let them stay where they are, and I have my experience. And again, if there's something that maybe you, because you may wish church was different, and maybe that's something that you may want to connect with, even with your pastor. If you don't go to LifeLink, of course you would want to come and talk to us for sure, because it's an open door. But maybe if you're listening and you go to another church, it's like, you know, maybe I need to connect with my pastor and say, I don't understand this part. Could you please explain? Or, you know, is there, you know, help me. I want to bring people, but I hesitate.
Right.
You know, and why do I hesitate? It's not that I'm ashamed of the church, but yet I'm not excited to bring people.
Wow, yeah.
Help me grow through that.
That's
I think these are great, honest conversations to have.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to just keep going year after year if there's something that needs to be addressed in your own life about, you know, issues that you're concerned about.
Yeah,
I think
that's good.
I think that's a fair thing to say.
Yeah.
Watch, I'm going to get all these phone calls.
I don't understand why we do this, Pastor Sheree. No, that's good. I think some practicals too, for people when it's like, okay, I'm going to take this challenge. I want to be a bringer, whether it's to church or whatever. Some practicals could be, one, if people ask you, hey, what'd you do this weekend? I went to church. And if they keep going the conversation, we can work in an invite. I also had heard a pastor say one time to listen for, in your conversations, listen for things like, I didn't expect this to happen in my life. So those big life-changing moments of this diagnosis came out of nowhere.
Like when other people are saying,
when other people are
you.
talking. Yeah. And I didn't expect that. That's a great opportunity to say, hey, as you're going through this, have you found a place where you can process this out? Or do you have any sort of faith in something bigger than yourself that might help you in this time? Because if not, I have a great church and you're more than welcome to come. And then another in conversations with people, if somebody just moved here, that's a great, hey, have you found a place to worship since you've lived here? And just assume
that they go
somewhere and that they're looking.
Right.
And if they're like, no, I don't really do that. Okay, cool. If you do, let me know. I've got a great spot. Move on. It's like talking like, have you found a good coffee shop since moving here? Have you found a new hairdresser? Have you found a place to worship?
Yeah.
Just those in conversations like that, you hear those big life change, unexpected things, or I just moved here, or, those big changes in life. That's a great opportunity for a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
But then also what are you up to this weekend? Well, we're going to go hiking and we're going to go to church on Sunday. We're going to get brunch after. And then let people say, where do you go to church?
Yeah.
I'm
always like, where do you worship?
Yeah.
Where do you worship?
Yeah. Or worship, or where do you go to church? Or, that's great.
Okay. I love it.
So we're going to be bringers.
Just be bringers. Just gather people, whether you're the youth mom that wants to get all the people at school into an activity at church. What is it that we can do? What next step can each of us do to put this principle into practice?
For some people, it might just be a simple grab a stack of invites and just have it there.
That's right. And we have those all over our building here at LifeLink Church that you can grab.
A really simple one that's like low-hanging fruit could be follow us on social media and just repost what gets posted.
You can repost this podcast.
Right. Like that's easy entry-level stuff. Just share it to your stories. You don't have to say anything.
Yeah. Just put it on and send it out. And I love my church. Boom.
Right.
Send it all out. I'm really big on social media.
Yes. It's a passion point for you.
They're always telling me I need to post more. So,
okay. Well, I think we've got some good practicals. I
love it.
So we just don't do life alone.
No.
Don't show up to places alone. Grab somebody.
Be a gatherer.
Yeah. I love it. All right.
Jump in.
Well, thanks so much.
I love you.
Love you. Love you guys. See you later.
Bye.